Today we will start the topic of optical instruments. Optical instruments, and there are three optical instruments which we come across. One is natural optical instrument made by the nature, and that is our eyes. With help of eyes and the lenses fitted in the eyes, we make images on our retina, and that is like a photographic camera. Camera is made according to construction of the eyes. So both these things, eyes and cameras, these are optical instruments. Eyes is natural, camera is man-made, and these we are using for recording the image of any object. But according to our syllabus, what we are going to study is microscope and telescope. So we start with microscope. What is a microscope? Microscope is an optical device which help us to see small objects by making larger images. Small objects making larger images. That optical instrument is microscope. So we will write definition of it. Microscope is very much necessary for our science, for our knowledge. All the biology knowledge which is developed on the certain studies of cells and very small organisms which we cannot see by the eyes, we take help of microscope, and those small things we see magnified, many times magnified, and then we are able to study that. So microscope is that device. In physics, we study how microscope work, why we see large objects in microscope, what is power of a microscope, and how we construct it. So the first thing, we will study the principle of microscope, that it makes a large image of a small object. And we start with the simplest microscope. Simplest, yes, it is only one convex lens. How a convex lens is used as a microscope? The answer is, a convex lens is used as a microscope if we place the object at a small distance, the distance which is less than its focal length. If an object is placed close to the spherical lens at a distance less than focal length, that is between focus and optical center, then from the other side we see the image, and that image is large image. Okay, that is one thing. Other thing, how do we see the things large and clear? This is very necessary for us to see that if the things are large, magnified, how large, how magnified they are, how do we measure this factor? We will call it magnification. If there is a microscope which is enlarging an object 10 times, and there is another microscope which is enlarging it 20 times, we will say the second one has got better magnification and magnifying power. Now for magnifying power, there is another thing you should understand. How do we see the things large? Answer is bringing them closer to our eyes. This is our eye. Here is an object A to B. From A, the rays are coming in this direction. From B, the rays are coming in this direction, and they make an angle between them. Okay? And according to this angle, we see this object, how large it is. Now suppose for the same eye if we bring this object at this place, bring it at this place, same object here. Now this makes angle on the eye, this and this. This is a larger angle and we see this object is large. So this angle subtended on the eye decide whether we are seeing that object large or we are seeing that object small. I can see a very large hill but which is far away. That makes a very small angle on my eye, so that appears to me like this. You have seen Taj Mahal within this. Why? That was far away and it looks small because that makes a smaller angle. But as we go close and close to this hill, we are moving closer to this hill, then we see this angle become large. It comes here, this angle becomes so large. So more is this angular size and that gives us a feeling that it is a large object. So this is angle dispersed by the object. Now if I see an object which is this much large, this is the angle. If I place an object here which is this much large, this is the angle made. This is angle made by one object. This is angle made by the second object. Second object is obviously larger. So there is one way, this larger than this. There is other way, bring it closer, it will appear larger. In both the cases, what is the factor which decide that we see a thing larger? Answer, it is the angle subtended on the eye which decide whether we are seeing this thing larger or smaller. Okay, that is one thing. Now here is a term which is how large, that is magnification. We have seen this term earlier, magnification, and magnification is what? Size of image size divided by size of object. Now for any instrument, size of image and size of object, if we want to compare, there is a compulsory condition. The compulsory condition is that they must be placed at the same location. Here, this is image, this is object, then the magnification will be size of image oblique size of object at the same location. Please note it, this is the formula for magnification. Now, by geometry, we know that this is proportionate to this angle and this is proportionate to this angle. So this we can write angle subtended by image divided by angle subtended by object. This is magnification. So we have two formulas for magnification: size of image upon size of object at the same location, or angle subtended by image divided by angle subtended by object. So this gives us magnification formulas. Either we will do this or we will do this to find out how much is the magnification and how much is the magnifying power. If we have an instrument which makes this object appear this much, double, then its magnification is 2 times. Okay, so if we have an object, if we have a machine which will bring this object at this place so that angle become larger, again there is a magnification. So in both the ways magnification will be there. Now another point, and that is very important point. If I want to see this object clearly and this is far away, I am not able to read what it is. Then I bring it closer. It appears larger and clearer to me. Bring it closer. It again becomes more clear, more larger. What is happening? Here, this is the object and it makes certain angle. I bring it closer. Then it makes a larger angle. Further closer, it makes a larger angle and it becomes clear. But there is one special thing happening in our eyes, and that is when this object was here far away. When object was far away, these are the parallel rays coming from the object and they intersect at this point, they meet at this point. This is the focus of this eye lens and it has got a certain distance, 2.5 centimeter or so. We are not studying that, but it is making a sharp image on retina and this object is clear to us. Now suppose this object which was far away, it was here. So the rays going from here become parallel, almost parallel, and these parallel rays were meeting here. Now this object has come here. If this object has come here, naturally the angle will be less. If it has come closer, the angle will be larger. Now here, what happens? The answer is the rays are no more parallel like this, and now the rays coming are in this shape. If here is the object, then these are the two rays coming from this object, and when it bends them, they meet here, this way. This you can calculate by 1 upon V minus 1 upon U or by any method. So when we bring it closer, the image goes away. But we can't see here. So what do? We change the focal length of our eye lens with help of ciliary muscles. With help of ciliary muscles, we change it and increase the focal length by changing this radius, by pressing it, and again we focus it at this point. Again we bring it closer. Why we are bringing closer? When we bring it closer, it appears more clear. Here it is better looking. Here it is better looking. Here it is better looking. More clear, much larger. Here I see small. This is more clear. This is more clear. This is more clear. Bringing closer. Okay. So, but what is happening inside my eye? When I bring it closer from this distance to this distance, the image goes out and immediately these ciliary muscles, they press this lens, increase its power, and again they focus on the retina. Now I bring it here. If I bring it here, this angle is again more and it needs more power to focus on retina. So ciliary muscle press more. The power is increased and they meet here. In the same way, if we bring it from a very large distance, closer, ciliary muscle keep on pressing the lens, increasing the power, so that every time the image is made on the retina. Now what happens? At a particular distance when it comes, it's very clear, but the ciliary muscles have compressed the lens to their maximum power. Now if I compress it any more, If I compress it any more, it is not possible because ciliary muscles have applied their maximum tension. They cannot apply it anymore. Then what will happen? I am making it clearer. I bring it here. When I bring it here, again the image goes out and there is a signal from the brain, please press it more. Ciliary muscles say no, we cannot, because we have already pressed it to the maximum. They don't do it. So now what happened? The image is formed here, there is no sharp image here. If there is no sharp image here, I can't see it clear. Okay, you have seen this, you can read this. It is far away, it is a very small writing. I am not able to see from this distance. I bring it closer, it is clearer, closer, it is clearer, more closer, it is clearer, clearer. So what I find bringing closer is making it clear, so I bring it like this. And now I am not able to see this. Why I am not able to see this? Because my ciliary muscles were adjusting my eyes. This, increasing the power, and they have stopped increasing the power. Now if I bring it more closer, they stop working and this goes out of the eyes, I cannot see it. So I can see the things more and more clear up to a distance. After that, I cannot see. So there are two actions taking place. One, when I bring an object infinity to this distance, the clarity goes on increasing because the focal length of my eye is getting adjusted according to the distance. This feature of the eye is known as self-adjustment. Self-adjustment, that eye is doing it, or a better technical name for this is accommodation. This is mostly used in physics. What is accommodation of the eye? Accommodation of the eye is a feature that it adjusts the focal length in such a way that according to the distance of object, the image is formed on the retina. Image is formed on the retina. The focal length is adjusted in such a way. So this phenomena of the eye, this characteristic of the eye is known as accommodation. Okay. Will the accommodation work for all the distances? Answer no. It has come to a minimum distance. After that, it will stop working. That means we are making it clear, most clear. And after that, it has stopped working. So this distance is the least distance of clear vision, distinct vision. What are the words we are using? Minimum distance or the least distance of distinct vision. And this is a very important distance. What we call it? Least distance of distinct vision. This is the minimum distance from the eye where we have to put an object to see it clear most. And this is normally we do when we read a book, when we see our mobile, when we read any newspaper, anything, we bring it to that closer. And for a healthy eye, this is almost 25 centimeter. At 25 centimeter, I see the things most clearly. Okay, what is that? Least distance of distinct vision. When I use this distance in our optical instrument, we don't write 25, we don't write this long. We have put a symbol for this, and that symbol is capital D, distinct vision. So this is the distance of distinct vision. We will keep on using it. At that point everything will be most clear to us. But at that time, what is happening with the muscles? Answer: muscles are under great tension. So when we keep a book very close to us, when we keep our mobile very close to us and keep working on it for hours, then these muscles under tension, they have a fatigue, and we say we are tired. There is pain in our eyes. That pain is in the ciliary muscles. Okay, so they are under tension when we are seeing the things clearly. Is there any remedy for that? Yes, there is a remedy. We can see the objects little not so clear, little less, if we allow the rays to come parallel. If we allow the rays to come parallel, then what will happen? Our eye's natural setting is for parallel rays. That means no pressure by the ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles are relaxed. So parallel rays are coming from far away object. They will meet automatically at the retina. This is natural setting of our lens. How much is the tension on the ciliary muscles? Zero, no tension. Now, if somebody asks me to work in this situation for few hours, I can work. There will be no fatigue, there will be no tiredness in the eyes. So, this is a very comfortable state of working. Now, we see the objects magnified. We can see the objects magnified large in two settings of our optical instrument. One setting is for this setting, when we have brought the image so close that it is most clear. Where is the image at that time? The image is at D. At that time it is very clear, but the eyes are under tension. The second setting is when we allow the parallel rays to enter the eyes and still there is a magnification. It is large, but the rays coming are almost parallel, there is no fatigue, and we keep on working on it. So at this time the magnification may be little less. How much is the magnification in this situation? How much is magnification at this situation? Both we are supposed to calculate when we are studying about optical instruments. Okay, so this is about how we see the things in two settings. Now we come to our original topic, and that is simple microscope, which is made by a spherical lens, that is a convex lens. See, here is the lens, convex lens we are going to use as microscope. This is focal length on this side, f, focus. We have placed an object between focus and optical center anywhere. From B there are rays on the principal axis. From A we take the two rays. One ray which is going in the direction of optical center will go undeviated, enter our eyes. Other we take one ray which is coming from the direction of focus. It starts from here, but which direction we have taken? The one which is along the focus, so that this ray after refraction will become parallel to the principal axis. That is the rule we have studied. Okay, so this becomes parallel to principal axis and enters the eyes. This also enters the eyes. Now these two are diverging, they never meet each other. So where is the image formed? Eyes backtrack it and backtrack this, and it appears to us that both are coming from this point. So this point we see the image of a at A dash, B on the principal axis at B dash, and this A dash B dash is the image, and you are seeing this is larger. Now if we move it here or here, this way, if we are changing U, then we are changing V. So U and V can be changed by simply moving this lens this way. If we keep an object here, put the lens here and move it this way, what we are doing? We are changing U according to V will also change. Now, what is the magnification? Magnification is, we have studied for spherical, it is V upon U. Both are on the same side, so V upon U is the magnification. Now, we know another formula, that is 1 upon V minus 1 upon U is equal to 1 upon F. Let's multiply this formula with V. So this will be 1 minus V upon U is equal to V upon F. Now what is this V upon U? This V upon U is magnification. So this we take on this side and this we take on this side. So what do we get here? V upon U is equal to 1 minus V upon F. And this leads to, this is magnification. Magnification is equal to 1 minus V upon F. Now we adjust this U in such a way that this image is formed at a distance D. Why? Because at D, this is very distinct for us, very clear for us. So if image is formed, at D, then V here is equal to D on this side, that is minus D. Because D is on this side, so this will be minus D. When we put the value, putting that value here, putting this value, we see magnification is equal to 1 plus D upon F. This is the magnification formula for this simple microscope. This is a simple microscope. So remember, M is equal to 1 plus D upon focal length of convex lens we are using. And how we use it? We keep the object below, under focal length. Then it works as a microscope, and this is the magnification, 1 plus D upon F. Now, this is a setting when we have made the image at distance D. Naturally, eyes will be under tension. Now suppose we want that this image, let it be away, no problem, but we want to be relaxed. So we want these rays to come parallel. That we will say setting for parallel rays, or we give it a name, setting for relaxed eyes. So setting for parallel rays, see, we have seen one setting of simple microscope and their magnification is 1 plus D upon focal length. Now we will see the second setting. In the second setting, the rays coming should be parallel so that there is no tension on our eyes. For that purpose, here is a lens. How do we get parallel rays to our eyes? The answer is, if we keep object at focus, then the rays coming from here will become parallel. The one which is parallel is going through focus, same distance, and the one going through optical center goes straight, and if this is on focus, they have to be parallel. Now if they are parallel, then these are supposed to come, the image will be formed at infinity. Yes, and here we see. Now they will focus very conveniently on our retina and there will be no tension. When we see an object by the parallel rays, image is sending parallel rays, then this setting is for relaxed eyes. Do we have any magnification in this? Okay, now let us calculate magnification in this. These rays are coming from image. Image is somewhere here, 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 anywhere. Image is somewhere there, and these are coming from the image, and we see that they make an angle to the eyes. They make an angle that is equal to this angle. This is the direction from where the rays are coming. So let us say this angle is beta. So what is beta? Beta is angle subtended by image. Now, what is the angle subtended by object? We divide the two angles, angle by image divided by angle by object, and that will give the magnification. Now, the condition for that you studied, that condition for that is both should lie at the same place. Now, we don't see where the image is. How can we place image and object at the same place? There is one method. We know that image is coming from, image rays are coming from this direction, which is making angle beta. So what we choose? We choose a particular distance which is well known distance for us. That distance is from here D, distinct vision. Let us make image here, this. How much is the angle made? Beta. How do I say that this is image? Okay, this is not image, but this is representing direction of the image, because image is making what angle? Beta. This is making what angle? Beta. So I have brought my image. If this was so big here, if this was so big there, then the image may be at any location. Maybe it is here, maybe it is here, anywhere. But this makes angle beta, that is for sure. So image is making angle beta. At a one particular distance D, I place the image, so I will have to make this line representing image. Okay, this is image. Now, image, I will give certain name to it. Let's call it PQ. That is image. Now at the same place, how much is the angle made by image? Beta on our eyes. I should place this object at the same place here. So I place this object at the same location. How do I make the same location? I make this line parallel. And this is this object, if it is placed here for the sake of comparison only. So it is here. How much angle will it make? At this location, it is making a angle which is this one, this. And this angle, I say it is alpha. So alpha is the angle made by object if the object is placed at same location of the image. I have chosen this location because I know a known distance which is D. Okay, so at this place, this is image, this is object, beta is the angle made by the image direction and on the eye, and alpha is the angle made by the object. This is bottom of the object, this is top of the object, and this subtend an angle alpha. This is bottom of the image, this is top of the image, that subtend an angle beta on this. So beta is angle subtended by image and alpha is angle subtended by object. Therefore, magnification is equal to beta upon alpha. Now, I do the calculation here. This is object AB, and when I bring it here, I write, okay, the same size AB. Now, magnification is angle beta upon angle alpha. This angle beta, I do a measurement. For small angles, beta and alpha are equal to their tangents. For small angles, M is equal to tangent beta upon tangent alpha. We know that for small angles, beta, sine beta and tangent beta have almost same values, so we can transform as we need. So here we need it this way. Now we have to find out tangent of beta either from this triangle or from this triangle. I find it from this triangle. This is how much? AB upon BO. AB upon BO. This is AB upon BO. Tangent alpha. This is alpha. Its tangent perpendicular AB upon QO. AB upon QO. Okay, I don't write it BO because this is BO. This distance. This is Q2O. So this is AB upon QO. Now simplify the two. This becomes QO and upon BO. How much is QO? QO. This is I had taken as D. So this I write as minus D divided by BO. BO is focal length. So this is focal length F. So this is minus D. F I have taken on this side. So this is also minus. So this is equal to D upon F. This is magnification in this particular case. Why should we take it as D? Because we put our newspaper at the distance D. We are used to that. So I put it here, the image from this direction, the object calculation we have done here, and we get this magnification D upon F, and in this case, the rays are parallel. So this is calculation for parallel rays or relaxed eyes. This is calculation for distinct vision. So we have two settings, one for distinct vision where image is clearly formed at D, and other is for relaxed eyes where the parallel rays are coming from the image. So you please remember these two settings, and this is for magnification by a simple microscope. And after this, if this, okay, this magnification is larger than this magnification. So when we go for distinct vision, it is bit larger, but it is very troublesome for our eyes. So normally we set for this d upon f. Now this d is 25 centimeter and this f is very small. If it is 2 centimeter, then we have a magnification of 12.5 times. If it is 1 centimeter, then this is a magnification of 25 times. So this way, a simple spherical lens can give us magnification of few times, but not lot of magnification, 100 times, 200 times, that is not possible. And for that, we use compound microscope. And that compound microscope we will study in the next lecture. Thank you.